Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or if you have Aries in any other place in your chart and you're feeling drawn to this reading, there may be a message in here for you. So Aries, there's a bit of a lead up to this reading. I tried doing it earlier. I actually did it, and then I completed it. I uploaded it onto my computer, and then it just felt like it wasn't the right reading because it wasn't about you. It was about somebody else around you who is trying to get back into your energy, Aries. So that was basically what the reading was about. I am mentioning it because it is worth mentioning. It just wasn't worth a whole reading, in my opinion. So I'm doing it again. But there is something worth mentioning there about anger. There may be sort of energy of anger within you. Like you might be feeling angry about a situation, or there's an energy around you that is like they're angry or something like that. There's just angry energy within a dynamic around you at the moment. And it's kind of like finding ways in which you can express that anger without also being destructive, and just sort of moving on from that, Aries. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that there. That's one message for you. We're not going to spend a whole reading going through that, but the other energy, like after I did that and I sort of took a break and I was like, okay, that doesn't feel right. I don't want to put that out for Aries. Other messages started to come through for you. So it is kind of feeling like that is something that you have to sort of work through in order to get to like the thing that you're actually working towards. So Aries, the message or the energy that was coming through for you, there's in Harry Potter, there's a specific potion called Felix Felicis, which is a good luck potion. And it's like, it's something where it's like, when you take the potion, things just like work out, like little things it could be. It's just like a string of good luck, right? And things like, which is interesting because the Leo reading from this week had like a string of bad luck. But anyways, for you, Aries, though, it feels kind of like there's this energy from the universe, it feels like, that's giving you good luck, where things start working for you, where it's kind of like if there was a locked door, for example, that becomes open. Or if it's like you lost something, you actually find it again, or something like that. It's kind of coming through as being like small little instances that help you on your path forward. So that's how it's coming through. And the reason that it's coming through like that is because I feel like there is something perhaps where you are at a disadvantage, is how it's coming through for whatever reason. And so the universe is coming in to sort of lift you up, is how it's feeling, like push you forward, or assist you in small ways in order to like equalize the playing field. So I don't know what it is that you're up against, but it kind of feels like it may be that you're not even seeing it clearly what it is that you're up against. It feels kind of like it's out of your range of vision. Like you're not seeing necessarily what it is that you're up against, but the universe is helping you. So they may be giving you sort of signs or like perhaps synchronicities as well to try to help connect the dots on something that maybe you're not seeing. But anyways, so that was the message that was coming through. And then as I was preparing to do your reading, I was feeling drawn to this deck, which I rarely ever use. It's the Enchanted Map, the Enchanted Map Oracle, and it's like on like the bottom shelf of my of this shelf here. And when I picked it up, I found this card at the bottom of the deck, which is from the Shaman's Oracle, which I have been using all this time without this card in it, which is so interesting. So it's almost like the universe was like drawing me to this deck because this other deck that I have been using was missing a card, and it's number 55. It says, "The farther gate, a bold step forward." For you, Aries. I'm going to keep that for you because I feel like that's part of your reading. Like, this card specifically wanted to come out, but I was missing it from the deck. Which is kind of like that energy of, like, good luck, right? Like, like small little instances like that which, like, help you or, like, return something to you. It does kind of feel like something's being returned to you that maybe was lost. It could be a small thing like this. And like maybe you didn't even know you were missing it, right? Like I didn't count the cards. I didn't realize that there was a card that was missing, which is interesting. But but this is also this energy of something like a door that was locked to you. A gate that was locked to you is now, it's open, is how it's feeling. Something's opening up, and I feel like you're taking a bold step forward. Okay, they don't want to start with this one. Okay, we're gonna start with the Enchanted map. I haven't used this deck in forever, it feels like. And I had to go searching for the guidebook as well, because it wasn't in... it was still in the box, actually. Okay, Aries. There's also this like golden energy that's coming through with you. Because of the Felix Felicis potion is gold. Which is also interesting as well, because I'm getting sort of this energy of like resistance towards that. Like, because it's kind of like... the example that was coming through with that potion, metaphorically, of course, like in Harry Potter, in that world, that potion is highly regulated for things like sports competitions, for example, right? Like you can't use that potion. Of course, there are examples in our world that are like that. Like you can't use certain drugs or like things to amplify your ability to do something, right? But it's kind of coming through like the potion itself is not against, like it depends on context, right? It depends on context. If you're competing in like a major sports league, obviously that kind of assistance wouldn't be allowed, but it feels like whatever it is that you're doing is not within that context, so it's not illegal or against the rules. There's this energy here of like something that feels a bit morally gray to you for some reason, Aries. Because it feels maybe like you're getting an advantage when in some area of your life, or like you're given access to a locked door, that kind of thing. Where it's kind of like there's this energy here of like, am I allowed to do this? And the answer is yes. It feels like yes. It depends on context. I feel like for you, the context is that you've been at a disadvantage. And this, whatever this assistance is, would be leveling the playing field for you, is how it's coming through. So it's actually... putting you I don't want to say solid ground. That's not quite the right way of phrasing it. It's putting you on the same level as others, perhaps. I don't know in what area of your life, though, is how... I don't know. It just kind of feels like it's not against the rules. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Okay, Aries. Message for Aries. listening. With the elephant, and there's music in that one. Okay, let's read it first and then we'll pull the others. An open heart will hear the message. When this card appears, you're being reminded that there is a time to speak and a time to be silent. Now is an occasion for listening. Pay attention not only to what is being spoken, but also to what is not being said at the moment, for the deeper message is not always obvious. Listen with your heart, not just your ears, and you'll find clarity. Receiving the listening card is a fortunate sign and ensures a greater understanding of your circumstances. Yeah. Listening with your heart, especially with all this green energy, especially for things where it feel like there's an energy here of like knowing what is right, like it's that kind of energy, and that's coming from the heart, like, because like your heart knows what is right is how it's coming through. Could just be listening to your heart, like what it is that you feel is correct, or like what is perhaps not being said. There's really something about context that's important. Maybe there's something that you're doing that depends on your context to be right, or your environment to be right. Because it's kind of coming through with like, for example, if your environment is not peaceful, or if your environment is like, I don't know, it's kind of coming through as peaceful, especially with the music. Your environment has to be in like the correct frequency, maybe, to hear a certain message is how it's coming through. Perhaps there is something that you have been trying to listen for, but it hasn't been the right context to come through for whatever reason. Okay, there's a lot of Harry Potter imagery, because it's kind of coming through like, in the fourth book there's a golden egg, right? There's a golden egg, which also in the other deck is representing the heart, but when he opens the golden egg, it's just like screaming when he listens to it in air, but when he opens the egg underwater, it's like the message becomes clear. It's kind of coming through like that, where it's like the context matters. Like what message you're hearing perhaps depends on like what environment you're in. It's coming through, which is interesting, like from air and water. Because it could be that somebody's saying something to you, but in your heart it doesn't feel right. Or the opposite. It could be that someone's saying something that sounds really good, but in your heart there's something off about it. Or it could be that someone's saying something like, that feels off to you. In your heart, you know that it's right. I don't know. There's something about that where it's like listening with the proper context is important here. Yeah, you have movement and storm fields. Interesting. You're moving into storm fields is what that's looking to me like. But I feel like that is the movement that you are meant to move towards, Aries, because it's kind of feeling to me like, again, with that energy of the Felix Felicis, the universe is giving you exactly the luck that you need in order to get through whatever this storm field is unscathed, is how it's feeling. Like it's, and you have commitment at the bottom of the deck. You are in a time of positive forward motion. This is the time for positive momentum as you come out of a period of restriction. You're in a stage of new adventure and discovery. You may feel compelled to take a trip, change your hair, or move your home or business. Regardless, you can't remain where you are anymore. You feel compelled to go forward. No matter what your inquiry, you will see your dreams take form and doors previously shut begin to open as if by magic. Movement is also a state of mind. The fog lifts and you now know the actions you need to take. This isn't the time for fear. Let it go and move forward. Yeah, which is interesting. A door that was previously shut is being opened for you. And it's time to move forward. Storm fields. This too shall pass. An uncomfortable chaos is surrounding you. Things that you've left unattended may be the cause of some conflict. Pent-up energy needs release, just as a storm in nature must break. For these events occur when the electricity between opposing forces stir things up and creates temporary disorder. Not all storms are destructive. Rather, they serve nature by bringing rain to the ground and winds to the trees, enabling seeds to be widely distributed and continuous growth to be ensured. Just remember that whatever is being stirred up inside you or between you and another will benefit you later. The sun will shine again and new growth will be observed. Don't be afraid to shake things up a little. Because I do feel like there is, with the storm fields, I'm going to pull more cards. And you have the commitment card at the bottom of the deck. I feel like you're moving into a place that you actually want to go, is how it's coming through. You're moving forward into something, right? Like you're taking a step forward into something. This is a place where the door has been previously locked to you. But at the moment, whatever it is that you're moving into feels like there's a storm there. It is temporary, I should say. It's not permanent. Whatever it is, the storm is. So it's kind of like it's really interesting because the way that these two cards are coming out, like, it almost looks like this is the same shape. I feel like there's something about the storm that is actually helping you. It's almost like the storm is helping you. Really interesting. Why would that be? Coagulation. Things coming together in the physical. Something taking shape. Sorry for my dog barking. There's some... I don't know why he's barking. Coagulation. I feel like there's... So that's an energy of, like... something becoming solid, right? Like something taking shape. Something becoming solid. Solidity, adherence, stuckness. Coagulation is the great alchemical operation of Earth. By way of this operation, we experience that which was fluid, churning into a solid formation. The formerly disparate ingredients begin adhering together into a fixed and solid unit. The result is visible, reliable, and eventually concrete. When you hear the phrase, "it is finally taking shape," Coagulation is underway. The shadow aspect of coagulation is that the elements may have come together without much awareness, and in turn they become unconsciously attached. Inertia and resentment set in. The parts can no longer separate even if they wish to. Many long-term relationships have coagulation aspects, a naturally occurring codependency by which both parties feel unseen or unknown as individuals. The work of coagulation is to experience the merging with other while not losing oneself in the mush. Interesting. Okay, because in the first reading that I did, there was this energy coming through with the self, right? And with the commitment at the bottom of the deck. I feel like there's something about here, Aries, like you not losing your sense of self. Because it feels kind of like you're coming together with something. Something is taking shape. But I feel like there's this energy of like a lot of things are mixed in, is just how I'm going to put it. And so it's like trying to detangle your energy from others, and I feel like that comes through like listening, right? It's kind of coming through like I saw this song on Instagram where it has like, if you're wearing earphones, for example, in one ear is English and the other ear is French, and they're played on top of each other. So it's kind of like at certain times, depending on like how you're listening to the song, like you can catch the English words versus the French words. They're on like overlapping. That's how it's coming through. There may be energies around you where it's like there's an overlap of language, metaphorically, where maybe it's causing confusion, or like the message is not clear because there's an overlap of things that maybe I don't know if that's good or bad, or if it's like, I don't know. It's just how things are, is how it's coming through. It's just how things are. Maybe there's like a certain relationship with the commitment energy where it's like each person has their own stuff that they're working through, right? So it's kind of like there are overlapping signals or messages that are coming through, and it's like trying to sort through which one is for you and which one's for someone else, like that. It's that kind of thing. But I do feel like something's coming together. Interesting. Against nature. Okay, I have to read that one because that's one of the tougher ones in this. Well, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be difficult. It can be easy. Willfulness, to force or control. On some level, we all know when we are going against nature. We recognize it in feelings of impatience and agitation that arise when trying to force certain outcomes. The Against Nature card arrives to remind the alchemists they cannot control the uncontrollable. Nature has its way, enveloping us in a wild narrative that we can collaborate in but not dictate. No matter our efforts to manage every aspect of our lives, the mess ensues. Spring is soggy. The lotus requires mud. People do what they do. This card heeds a warning not to fight the flow of Mother Nature or of destiny. Once we loosen the grip of what we think life should look like, a whole new realm of possibility awakens. Now is the time to be radically open to what nature has in store for you. Okay. This is coming through very positive, Aries. You're moving towards something that I feel like on some level, it feels kind of like your ego, like your mind, perhaps, what you had, like, it could be like your ideas of what you perhaps expectations. There may be something about like what you expect, perhaps, and what you're moving into feels kind of like it's very unexpected. is how it's feeling with the storm fields. So not to say that it's like stormy, I just feel like there's something about the energy that you're not seeing clearly is how it's coming through. Like it feels kind of like it feels kind of stormy. It just feels like there's like a fog or something about the situation that you're not seeing 100% clearly, because it is kind of coming through with like mud, like and with the earth as well, right? Like there's this energy here of earth. Earth and water that is like clay as well. That's interesting. Earth and water and clay. That I feel like is on some level, Aries is creating some form of like disharmony is how it's coming through, especially with the music. Like what you're hearing and what your heart feels, there's a disharmony there. Like what's being said and what your heart feels is how it's coming through. What's the storm fields? So you have Jupiter and resin. The great work at the bottom of the deck. Okay, which is interesting because this resin card is also this energy of adherence and stability, which is really interesting because it's kind of going from this, which feels like muddy. It feels muddy. This coagulation energy, like something coming together, but then it's ending up with the resin, which is solid but clear, transparent, not the opposite of muddy, which is really interesting because it's kind of like there's that energy of like it's it could just be something where you have to trust the process, Aries, where it's like because it does feel like you're working a lot with earth in some way. You're taking a step forward. There's movement is how it's coming through. But I feel like there's resistance with the against nature because it's kind of something where it's like the first step is to be in the mud, right? That's the first step. The first step is to get in the mud. And maybe that's something that you're resisting. But eventually it will clear up into the resin because that's what the Jupiter energy is coming through with. There's an expansion. This storm energy is meant to help you. It's shaking things up. It's like changing things. There's a lot of energy of change coming through here. But the first step feels muddy. Like uncomfortable, like you have to go in the mud, and I feel like that may be something that you're resisting. Temperance, yeah. There's a lot of water energy coming through here because I feel like so this temperance card out of all the temperance energies in all of the decks is like just water. It doesn't even have any fire in it. It's just water because it kind of feels like there's a lot of water being added to earth, if that makes sense. So maybe there's something that has been stagnant where it's like all this water is now coming in metaphorically, where it's like, so maybe there has been something that was very solid for you stable, but also stagnant or not moving, or it's like an energy of like you're stuck there, right? That's what this coagulation card could come through with. Like there's a stuckness, and all of this water is coming in now and making the earth fluid, right? Like it's turning it into like clay or mud. So there's movement now, but I feel like that's uncomfortable, or that there's like something about that that's like making you uncomfortable for some reason. The mud is. I don't know what that is literally for you, of course. It's just metaphor. But anyways, temperance. It is talking about transforming something. I feel like there's been a situation that you've been feeling stuck in that is transforming into mud. Yeah, the tower. This tower especially talks about like removing an energy that is no longer being used, because it's kind of coming through as like I see this as being like an abandoned building, or like a building that's like that doesn't have a use, right? No one's using it, so you have to demolish it to take it down in order to clear the space to build something new that will be used. So there could be some energy here with the tower of like removing old structures, removing anything that's like stuck. And it feels like the destructive force in this case, Aries, is not fire but water. Because you're a fire sign, that might feel uncomfortable for you, because it's not like you're not burning through things, right? It's actually not using your fire. It's using water in order to dismantle something, whatever that is for you. It's using water to clear something out. And then you have strength. Interesting. So 3 major arcana in a row. Again, the Leo reading might have something in there for you. The strength card, it's coming through with patience today, because, and like controlling your fire, because I feel like fire is not the element that you're supposed to be using at the moment. And that feels kind of like action, or anger, determination. All of those feel kind of like they're not, if you tried to use those kinds of energies, it wouldn't serve you. It's kind of just like, instead of like pushing forward, it's allowing the flow of energy to take you there, is how it's coming through. Because there's movement, but it feels like you're not in control of the movement. Interesting. It's like you gotta wait for the gates to open. You're not in control of the movement. Three of Pentacles. Okay, so this card talks about so 3 Pentacles normally is collaboration. In this deck, it feels kind of like collaborations that are not quite perfect, right? Like this energy of feeling disappointed within some sort of collaboration. In this case, Aries, though, I feel like for you, it's kind of just like you're actually being asked to like you're being asked to like not even do anything, is kind of how it's going through. Don't do anything is how it's feeling. It's almost like something's being taken out of your hands in a way where it's like you don't have to do anything. And that might be challenging for you, because it's kind of like maybe you're used to doing a lot of things. Maybe you're used to being very productive, or because I'm seeing this as being like, because there's 3 Pentacles here, right? but it's kind of looking like they're all on this hand, which feels like not your hands. It's out of your hands, Aries. Something is being taken out of your hands. Knight of Cups and Seven of Cups. It's almost like somebody put a blindfold on you and said, Aries, just trust me. We're gonna go somewhere fun. That's how it's feeling. Like it's like somebody, like what the example that's coming through, it's like somebody is has planned like a surprise vacation for you, right? But they're not telling you where where you're going, where you and this person are going. It's like you're blindfolded. They packed a bag for you, so you don't even have to, you can't like figure out the clues based on that. It feels like there's something that's completely out of your control, right? It's like you have a blindfold on and you're just being asked to trust the process and to go with the flow, to go where you're being led or taken, or like where the flow is going, right? Like it's kind of coming through like that. With the Seven of Cups, like you're in the dark about something. The Seven of Pentacles and the Star card. What? Okay, that's interesting because the Star card and the Temperance card are very similar in this deck, but it's almost like I'm seeing this as being sort of like, so it could have to do with healing, because it could be something where I watched this video. It was like this like short video on Instagram where there as a metaphor of healing, they had a wine glass that was full of wine, and then they put it under a tap and just started pouring water into the wine glass, right? So eventually all of that wine, which is coming through as like the hurt, the pain, whatever, trauma, energy, all of that wine eventually gets like washed out by the water. But in that process of like where it's being washed out, that's what this Temperance energy is coming through with. Like gradually clearing out something that perhaps has been an energy where you had to heal from it, right? But now it's coming through as being like the water is now running clear, is how it's feeling. So maybe it has taken a long time to get to this point for you, Aries, where it's like the water, so to speak, is running clear. It's no longer muddy. The water is no longer muddy, but I feel like there was a period of time where it was. I feel like that's clearing out now. And there's this energy here of almost like feeling like frustration feels kind of like a strong word, but maybe like frustration about like the fact that you are not in control now of what happens next. The Seven of Pentacles is talking to me about like preparation. So perhaps there is sort of like this energy still of like clearing out the waters, but you're being prepared for when the water starts to run clear. Because I feel like that's when the door opens. Yeah, you have 10 of Wands and 5 of Wands. Again, Aries, like the 10 of Wands, you're actually putting down some sort of burden is how it's coming through. The 10 of Wands, you're releasing some sort of burden at the moment is how it's coming through. Or because it's coming through with like strength and the against nature, like because you're capable of carrying it doesn't mean you have to carry it, is how it's feeling. Just because you are capable of doing something doesn't mean you have to do it. And I'm saying that in relation to something where it's like maybe you've been taking on a lot of burden that you are absolutely capable of handling, but you don't have to. The universe is actually saying like it's actually better if you put that down for a little and just allow the energy to like take you. I feel like though there's this 5 of Wands. Oh, what is this 5 of Wands actually? For this one, I often see that as being, like a lot of people have opinions about this. 5 of Cups. Yeah, I don't like that energy. Could be conflict. It could just be, differences in opinion about a certain topic or about a certain path that you're going towards, or like people wanting things from you that you don't want to engage in, or expectations from other people that I feel like are unrealistic, or could also be inner conflict as well, right? That could also be part of it. 6 of Pentacles. There may be something about like people wanting things from you, like asking you for things, asking you for like favors or something. It could be that like some like people who are asking you for assistance, or it feels kind of like they're asking you for assistance or favors or help, but that something about the request feels off to you. Like in your heart, it feels like it's causing conflict within yourself about like whether or not you should give to these people, whoever this is. It feels off for some reason. I don't like that energy. It kind of feels like, well, that's the thing. Maybe that's the burden that you're putting down with the 10 of Wands, of like giving too much of yourself to other people, where perhaps it's not a 3 of Pentacles. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles. It could be with the 3 of Pentacles, because this one talks about like disappointments in potential collaborations, right? There could be this energy of like you're putting down the burden of giving to other people because there hasn't been sort of an equal exchange, is how it's feeling to me. With the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like there's this energy here of like your nurturing energy feels kind of like it's being preserved for something, is how it's coming through. Like you're being asked to like conserve your strength for something in the future, feels like it does feel kind of like someone or the universe in whatever way is like orchestrating this surprise vacation, is just how it's coming through for you, but that you're not seeing it that way at the moment. Because there's a lot of things that are like being stirred up as a result of this. Because it kind of feels like, because imagine if you're going to go on vacation all of a sudden if you're going to go on vacation all of a sudden, you have to, like, people have, like, there are responsibilities that have to be taken care of. Like, all of this thing, it's almost like a very hectic period of a storm right before the calm. It's the opposite. It's kind of coming through like that, like a lot of muddy energy, so to speak, before it becomes clear. The Hanged Man. Yeah. Be patient and get a new perspective is how it's coming through. The Lover's energy to end it with the Commitment card. I'm going to read that one because I feel like there's something here about Page of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Something new that I feel like either it's coming in with this energy of something lost that is being returned to you. Some locked door that is now open, something like that. But that it's like something where you didn't know that it was locked. You didn't know that you lost it. And so when it comes back to you, like, oh, I didn't realize I was missing that. It's kind of coming through like that. So that's sort of the new perspective that's coming in, because I feel like there's something about like the uncovering of that lost thing that is like you have to dig through the dirt, right? It's kind of feeling like that. So, okay, Aries, I'm just going to read the Commitment card that was at the bottom of the deck just to close this reading. So, a true commitment is a responsibility of the heart, mind, body, and soul. This is a good time to make one. Partnerships formed at this time are harmonious and powerful. The Commitment card also indicates the natural evolution of a relationship from its inception to a literal or metaphorical marriage. At the very least, there is a promise of fulfillment in some form. However, you must be conscious of what you're committing to. Be clear about the nature of your commitment and your responsibility to it. Others are more willing to enter into partnership at this time. Remember that your partnership with Spirit and the highest version of your own self will engage the highest self in another. Yeah, I feel like you are entering into like deeper commitments with people. Could be multiple. It could be like different kinds of relationships or deeper commitment within like yourself, to yourself as well. And perhaps like about like there's this energy here of nurturing, like how you nurture yourself and how you nurture your relationships. And I feel like there's maybe a shift in perspective that's happening at this time about like getting very clear on what your expectations are of others and what other people expect of you. And there may be a period of discomfort in that energy of like the Hanged Man, right? Like getting new perspectives on relationships maybe, or on commitments, that may be uncomfortable because it's stirring up any energies that are no longer serving you with the Tower, right? That are not serving you, that are not making you happy, that are burdensome in whatever way, or causing conflict or disappointment. So all of that energy is sort of being cleared out, right? Like the water is starting to run clear is how it's coming through. And to be patient with the process. Don't resist it, because it will become clear soon, right? With the resin. I feel like there is a very strong relationship around you, perhaps multiple, that are going to be resonating with you very clearly. But it feels like right now there's a lot of mud that you're clearing out. So, Aries, I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.